I was getting too many surprises in last few months and none were good. And then after the surgery, when I was expecting the least, I got a surprise, a good one, a pleasant surprise. I'll tell you all about it, but before that, let's go and discuss today's topic, 30 days post-op update. So most of the interesting thing happened in the first 2 weeks after the surgery. And when I say interesting, I am not taking it lightly or offending anyone because I know how painful this surgery is. But now if I look back, all I have is that some distant memory and few stories to tell. Let me proceed. Today is exactly 1 month after my surgery, and as I promised myself, I came for a 4 miles walk. So this land is little hilly, so it is difficult for me to walk that much, but I am almost there. So what happened in last 30 days? Most of the update I already gave in the last video, 2 weeks post-op update. And since then I had some new challenges, but mostly improving the walking distance and time, and also I am more self-sufficient now. I'll give you all the details later in this video, but before that, let's go back to the pleasant surprise part. So initially doctor said that he will try to repair my valve, but later on with the additional test result and the calcification on the leaflet, he said is that repair won't be possible, it has to be a replacement. So I went to the surgery knowing that I am going to have a new valve, and this valve is going to be a biological valve, and it is Magna from Edwards. I knew the valve is going to last for 10 years or less, and for some people it breaks as early as 3 years. So I accepted my fate and decided to have an unpredictable life. I realized that life is not ever going to be same anymore. I have to live my life with constant fear when it is going to break again. So it is going to be unpredictable and it is going to be short. So after surgery, when first I woke up, my wife ran to me and said, "You know, doctor saved your valve and you have your own valve." That was probably the sweetest few words I have ever heard. That's a pleasant surprise. This is huge. I don't need to worry about the changing valve in 10 years or less, or need to take blood thinner rest of my life. So what surgeon did during my surgery? Surgeon repaired my aortic valve and cleaned up some of the calcification I had on the leaflet. He removed part of the aorta which was dilated and replaced with a polyester fabric graft. So this graft also helped to restore the geometry of the root and the leaflet to prevent the leaking and also allow them to resume its normal function. The part of the aorta which was replaced is the ascending aorta, and which got the aneurysm. 2 bypasses was also performed, and that was in the anterior descending artery area. For the bypass, they used the endoscopic vein harvest process, where they made a small cut near my knee and also made a small hole in my groin. That was to get the vein from there. But it feels like it was done a long time ago, and it is only a month, and I am forgetting many of the details. It almost feels like a thought came in my mind. But every day when I see the mark in front of the mirror, it assures that it is real. It is almost fading away though. One complaint I have is that the 3 holes are not spaced evenly, and the alignment with the cut mark and the middle hole is not aligned. It is wrong. And true, it is bothering me. I realized that this is the time for me to move forward, and I decided not to talk about the surgery anymore. The last few months was definitely crazy. All the thing I had in my mind is that valve, surgery, and the life after that. But it is past now, so no more talk about the surgery. I came closer to a death experience I have ever been, and the question is that what did I learn from there? This experience should teach me something, otherwise it would be total waste of all my suffering, right? Initially, I was very scared. I really thought my life would be very short and I needed to hand over everything to my wife as quickly as possible. It was like there was no tomorrow for me. The most painful part of dying is not that I won't live or not able to see the world. It's not about completing the unfinished business, not at all. It was about not able to be with my family, the people I love most, the people who totally depend on me, and imagining how difficult the life is going to be for them. Second thing I realized is that nothing matters. The things which you give so much importance, like achievement, winning or losing, really doesn't matter when you are in the deathbed. However, it is important to be prepared so the family can have a comfortable life when someone is gone. I kept working on the numbers to make sure they are going to have enough after I was gone, but the number was not at all looking good. And the next thing is my ego, which I have a lot. Um, Ego is a pure waste of energy, and I wasted a lot of time because of that, which I should have enjoyed, in fact, celebrated. Need to make life simple and understand what is the absolute need, because the time and energy we have is very limited. I should use them in the right way from now on. So keeping my friends and family very close who matters the most, and staying away from people or things which drains energy. I don't hate anyone, but I don't want to waste my time or energy for that. I took my health for granted, assume that it is always going to be there. Your current state of health and ability to do things are precious gift. Often we underestimate its fragility. When I was in the hospital, I felt a peculiar sense of being released from all my obligations. I felt like that I had a valid excuse to take it easy, reduce my stresses or enjoy my life. Following my time in hospital, I have also recognized a pattern in my approach toward challenges. Too often, I find myself hedging my bets. I lose motivation very, very quickly, even before taking the challenge. Every day should be a good day, and I was holding a lot of things for a better day. For example, over the year, I collected so many wine bottles, but which I never opened because I was looking for a better reason. And now I need to avoid alcohol, and I may not drink again. That's a total bummer. What I think is mine is not really true, and because of that reason I become organ donor again. I am already an organ donor, but just to make sure, I filled out the form again, and this time I am donating my entire body to science. So what is new in last 2 weeks? I guess my biggest problem is that I am not able to sleep at night, and I am only sleeping maybe 1 to 2 hours in one stretch, and which is causing low energy and off mood most of the day. Still today I'm getting dizzy and lightheaded. Then my cardiologist explained me what is going on. Yes, medicine has its own side effects, but the main reason for the dizziness is that blood loss during the surgery. I lost about half of the blood, and it is going to take like 5-6 months to get it all back, because body can only add 1 pint of blood in 1 month. So my current hemoglobin level is 7.1, and it used to be 17 prior to the surgery. Some of the surgical area is very numb. One turn. Some of the surgical area. One turn. Stop. Some of the surgical area is very numb, particularly my leg and the left side of the chest. And that is because of the nerve damage, and it may take up to a year for the nerve to grow back. I am getting different kind of pain in my back, shoulder and the chest area. That is because I am not taking any more painkillers, and most of my medicine is running out. After coming home from day 3, I started preparing my own meal, and by end of the week I was almost 95% self-sufficient, except I'm not able to still drive. So here we don't have any domestic help. We do everything by ourselves. And my wife started working after week 2, so she won't have any more time after that. Also, I'm a picky eater, so for me rule is very simple: you get food if you can cook. um, and I cannot eat food from outside because I have to cut salt and fat for a while. So for me rule is very simple: I have to prepare food with the physical limitation I have. So from 3rd week onward I started going outside walking alone, because I realized that I need to build the confidence and go outside. um, I was walking 3 to 4 miles every day in 3 rounds. So from week 3 after the surgery, I started feeling a bit sad um, and lost. Um, I don't know, I should call it a depression. And I only noticed because when my daughter came and told me that my behavior actually changed, I became very quiet, staring outside, kind of blank, and my mood was going up and down without any reason. So depression is normal after the surgery, and they say is that 40% people get some kind of depression, but I would say this number should be a lot higher. This may start coming after week 3, 4, or maybe after that, because even though the first 2 weeks it is very painful, but we'll see a lot of progress in every day, and also getting a lot of attention from nurses and the family members. But after week 3, your progress is going to be a lot smaller, and also you will be doing the same things repeatedly all day, or maybe not getting enough attention anymore. The tracking device was removed on day 20th. That was to track the atrial fibrillation, which I had in my hospital. I don't have the report yet, but I'll get it in my next doctor visit. I started working after week 3, even though it is very early and my doctor is not comfortable with the idea. Um, and I was not quite ready also for that, but I needed to do. So today is March 21st, 3 weeks from my surgery, and I'm supposed to start my work today. I am not really ready mentally or maybe even physically, but I have to do. I guess that is life. Yesterday I went for my first cardiac rehab. I am about to start my cardiac rehab. This way they can track my heart when I'm going to do the exercise. They are going to check my blood pressure often. It is actually a nice place to do some exercise in a supervised environment. So it's going to be a supervised physical exercise, which I need, because then I can gain the confidence. I lost about 15 pounds after my surgery and 30 pounds in last 3 months. So I need to get some of it back. So on week 4, the first time I tried to sleep on my side, and that is my favorite position, and damn, it felt so good. So today morning I completed my 4 miles walk without much stopping, and it was big. And after that I feel like I am almost there at my previous stage. Before ending the video, let me quickly recap of last 30 days. So I checked in very early in the morning, and soon after that they took me inside and prepared me for the surgery. After that I was waiting for the green light. It was kind of like waiting on the runway. Once they got the green light, they took me in the operating room, and from there everything went very, very fast. They don't waste any time. They put me on a table, and then they connected a atrial line, and soon after that they put a mask on me, and that's all I remember. So next morning when I woke up, I was wrapped with all the tubes, wires and machines, but I was very sleepy at that day. I had some pain, but it was not that bad because of the anesthesia effect was still there. But the second day after surgery, it was really bad. It was probably the worst day in the entire process. I had lot of pain, zero energy. It was bad. So on day 3, they took out the chest tube, the atrial line, the urinary catheter, and after that I started feeling lot lighter, lot better. And also I started getting my appetite back. So on day 4, I went for my first walk, and most of the additional lines and tubes started going away. And finally, I started feeling myself. So on day 5, early in the morning, I was sitting in front of the window. While watching the sunrise, I was writing and drawing. And doctors got so impressed that they decided to kick me out of the ICU and put me in the step down unit. And that day I realized that it is time for me to leave the hospital. On day 6, I was released. They removed everything else that was attached to me. And that day I took my first bath, and that felt amazing. 7 days without bath made my body very sticky, greasy, and maybe smelly too. And you won't understand how good it feels to have a small thing like a bath. So on day 7, I went for my first walk outside, and it was hard. I was keep losing my breath. But by end of the week, it got much better. From day 8, I started preparing my own food and learned to maneuver with my limited physical ability. On day 9 and onward, I started feeling completely myself. It was the time to improve the distance and time of the walk. By end of second week, I was walking 3 miles a day in multiple round, of course. I still don't go to the public place or have the permission to drive. I need to start driving to feel my complete freedom. So that was my 30 days post-op update. Thank you again for watching me. Take care and live life.